How do the officers represent all students at BNU, and why is it important who they vote for?
There's so many behind the scenes things that elected officers do, like validation panels. So for new courses, or if a course leader wants to update the curriculum, shake it all up a little bit, we're the one that sits on the panel as the student and goes, well, actually, if I was a student on this course, I'd really enjoy this new curriculum. Or actually, if I was a student on this course, not for me. And you work together as the 4 elected officers to really produce a sound student voice that represents every single person and every single aspect of this university. And sometimes we get it wrong. I will hold my hands up. There are times where things don't go 100% the way the students want it to go, but we don't always get that option. But it's so important that students have a say in who they are being represented by, because otherwise it would just be the people on the top floor of the university making the decisions, which don't always know what's happening on the ground. It's like any big company. The big boss at the top doesn't always know what's happening in the basement. And so you have to have the people in the basement in those meetings, and that is what the elected officers are there for. Nominations are now open, and they close on the
14th of February.
And even if you put your name in today, you just register your name. You don't put a manifesto, you don't put a photo, you don't put a little catchphrase or whatever. You just put your name in. That is step 1. Done. You've completed the hardest part. Then you've got a bit more time to think about your manifesto and exactly what you want to do. And you then have a little bit more time to go, actually, maybe it's not for me. I am going to withdraw. And that is perfectly okay. So you've got this nominations period. Use it to your advantage. Start getting your name out there to people. Start going, actually, I am running. I'm going to run. I'm thinking about running. I'm going to run. Boom. Voting opens, hustings come along, and everyone's like, oh, I spoke to them back in January, and they said they were going to nominate themselves, and here they are. That's really cool. Yeah, I already know them. All of a sudden you have a campaign team. All of a sudden you have a campaign. All of a sudden you have things to stand by. Voting week.
Putting it together. And I think that also, I would say to those that are quite nervous and maybe scared of doing that, I'm that there are some things that I'm not as confident in as maybe some others, but you get through it. Like the hustings, it's definitely not something, I can actually say that from my point of view, is that even though I did it...
Worst experience of my life.
Afterwards, I literally I went home and I was like, I was still like a bit anxious about it, but that's okay. That's a natural feeling, and I think that just reach out for people around you to support you through that. But you definitely can do it, and also remember, you're speaking to people that students or students that are like you or studying, and I think that just know that you're in a safe and communicative environment. I think that's quite good
and
to
I
know.
think
but
as
just
well,
get your nominations in.
During voting week, it's really important to remember you're not the only person going through this. There is going to be so many people either running in the same role as you, or if there's not people running for the same role as you, you've got the 3 other roles that have all got people going through the exact same thing. Talk to each other. Okay, you're campaigning to beat the other person, but also, at the end of the day, they're still people.
I found that we would just make friends with campaigning, even with people that were going for the same role as you.
You start making friends, you start chatting rubbish, and then all of a sudden, voting week's over, and it's like, why was I nervous in the first place? And that's even before the celebration night.
And you should be really proud. So what I would say is that, yes, okay, there will always be someone that will be voted into that role, but what you do through campaigning and putting yourself forward is actually such a big step, and it's something to be really proud of. And actually, it adds to your portfolio, because the things that you do through your campaigning is transferable skills. So,
and to say that you ran in an election straight out of uni, no matter how old you are, to say that you ran in an election which gets over however many thousands of votes it gets, is huge. To have put your face out to thousands of people to say, pick me, choose me, love me, is massive. And you should be so proud of yourself for that, because that is an amazing thing to do. put yourself in a position of pure vulnerability
Yeah.
is incredible. And honestly, even if you just nominate your name and you don't add a manifesto, or you don't end up being able to campaign loads during campaign week, and even if you don't end up getting the end goal that you wanted, you have still done something that has provoked change. And that is the most important thing with all of this.
Yeah, because actually with some manifestos, there have been ideas that have been taken from them.
I stole ideas from all the
And
manifestos.
it's important to remember that everyone's pretty much like just wants that change,
Yeah.
or just wants to support kind of different ideas, or anything at all. You can be proud of that because you're like, oh, I mentioned that. That's really good.
Yeah.
I can see that they're kind of doing something about that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. It will be hard. It will be fun. You'll have a roller coaster of emotions. But I think if you have the opportunity to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
100%.
And we'll always be, what I could say about the SU staff, the whole team, is that they're behind every single candidate as well. There's no, putting out favouritism or anything like that. They will support every single candidate, and so will I this year as well, which is really nice. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm excited to not be on the receiving end again.
I'm so happy not
nice.
to be. I'm so happy. Don't get me wrong, I'm really, really pleased with what I've done.
I'm so grateful that I've had the
everything
opportunity.
like that. But now I can actually support every single
nice,
candidate.
Sit back, relax.
Have a cup of coffee. Just if you ever need, anyone can come and ask questions as well throughout that campaign week, and it will be the same response that we give to every single person. So don't ever feel that you're at a disadvantage. It is a fair process.
Yeah, but just do it.
Yeah.
Get yourself out there and
it's like
just keep
cheerleading.
swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep voting. Just keep voting.
I think we bored Ian.
It has been a long week. My day's only just begun.
I miss my bus, mate.
Beat the rugs.
Tell me about writing a manifesto.
Don't stress over it, because if you're like me and struggle with writing things, and you only get a certain amount of words to write, and you want to cram as much in about what you're like as a person, the ideas that you've got, what you'd do if you got voted in, it's a lot for a tiny little paragraph. Just be you.
It's like your personal statement for
even if it's just a paragraph of saying what you are like as a person.
Yeah.
And then it's like, check out my socials to see my campaign information. That's better than having nothing to start with.
Yeah.
But don't stress over it, because honestly, it's the groundwork that makes all of the difference.
And also, don't put loads of things in. I would actually say that the reason being is that it's a year, and even though you want to do as much as you can and include everything on your manifesto, the likelihood is you're not going to be able to do everything that's on your manifesto. If you do, brilliant, fantastic.
What's your secret?
Yeah, because I can tell you now, there'll be some things on my manifesto that will probably come either years down the line or something that hasn't been started, or someone has in a different angle. So just I think it's really important to get across who you are, and what you're studying, and what you've enjoyed about you being here, and what you want to contribute to.
It's more,
the role.
The manifesto is more you and why you're running, not that everything you want to do in 365 days.
Yeah. Best advice. Boom.
How do I actually vote in the elections?
Everybody listen. You only get one vote. That is either online, I've got cramp, oh my gosh. One vote per person, either online or in person. Do not vote more than once, because your vote gets denied.
Both of them will.
Both of them, all the votes. So just vote once and remember that you voted. Even if you have to write yourself a little reminder on your phone. I did. Remember that you voted.
Yeah.
You then vote for each role in numerical order of who you want as your top, and then who you go down with. You don't have to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can just put your number 1. You don't have to go through all the numbers. But make sure you write number one in who you want to be your number one president, your number one vice president achievement and belonging, your number one education and welfare for Wickham, and your number one education and welfare for Uxbridge and Aylesbury. You then have the option to say, you know what, this person would be quite good if the other person didn't get voted in, so they're going to get my number two, and so forth and so forth. And with every single candidate, you get a Ron option. Now, Ron is this guy that is reopen nominations. So if you genuinely don't feel like anybody else is good enough to be that candidate, to be that elected officer, you can vote Ron. And this means that if lots of people vote Ron, potentially the election will get reopened. I don't think it will. I think we'll have some pretty good candidates, the word on the street, this year.
I hope so. It'd be really interesting.
But you can also use Ron if you think, so your number one candidate is the only candidate. Number two can be Ron. You could do it that way as well. And that is the open and honesty of voting.
But there'll be
only vote once.
There'll be like ballot boxes around, and there'll be people that be managing those. So if there's any question that you have regarding the voting process, just ask while you're there, and they'll be able to happily answer any of the questions that you have. It really is just making sure you get your vote in within that time frame. You have a week to vote through that campaign week. And then it closes on that Friday, and the results are the Friday evening.
Yeah,
we
come down to the lounge.
Come down for a party, celebration, find out who your next elected officer team will be. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really, really good.
Yeah. Good
luck to everybody.
Good luck.
And
have the best
fun.
time.
Yeah.
Have fun doing it, because it's so much fun.
So much fun.
I genuinely wish I could do it again.
Oh. I'm happy.
You'd say
I'm
this.
Happy.
I've had my year's break now. I've had my year off.
No. I'm happy.
Let me back.
I've done it, twice, and both times campaigning was different as well.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun, and good luck.
Good luck. Have fun and enjoy
the ride.
Every second of it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yay.